Hi guys, Elle here. Welcome back. I just finished filming a little tour of my altar. That should be up somewhere now in the YouTube world. But I inspired myself, I guess, a little bit. It made me wanna do some crafty, sort of pagan-y crafty projects. I've spent the last couple weeks now really focused on getting to know my Orbifold tarot and working really closely with it, and it has fast become one of my all-time favorite tarot decks. I've been so into it, but the last few days I found myself having to sort of put it down and just take a little breather from things. I was starting to dream in Orbifold language, sacred geometry symbols. I closed my eyes and I could see them. I was like, okay, we need to take a breather. So I spent a lot of time at my altar futzing around and things. And it also made me remember that I had a little project that I've been collecting things for. It's plastic, loud bag. That I've been collecting things for the last several months until I could get enough stuff together to do it. What it is, hang on. Plastic bags and YouTube videos don't go well together. But what it is creating a little travel altar out of one of these like Altoid tins. I've seen them up online. I've put some candles in there. I've seen them up online for maybe the last couple of years, and I just got so inspired when I came across the idea again at Little Red Tarot. There's a little thing up there. These are little magnets that I'm probably gonna put on there somehow, and I collected all these beads and little knickknacks and things to put stuff together. I got a piece of leather here, I got some paper, I have this whole bag filled with old tarot cards, extra cards. I might use that Orbifold symbol in there somewhere probably too. Some wire, some ribbon, shit like that, to put something together. And take a little, creative mind break. So I think that'll be really fun. A little bag for him when he's done. I am really not a very physically artistic kind of a person. All the projects that I have done over the last few years, I mean, if you take a close look at them, like even my tarot bags that I've made, I can't sew for shit, like they're totally falling apart. But there is something so wonderful about getting to be creative, but also doing it in a way where it sort of ties into your spirituality. I feel like it's a spiritual act, creating something that you're going to use for those purposes, I think. And I so enjoy that. So I pulled out a few things that pagan crafts that I've done over the years, and to share with you guys and maybe give you guys some inspiration for some things that you can try too. All right, first off, definitely tarot bags. I won't show you guys a shit ton. I really haven't actually made that many, but I've never gone out and bought fabric to make a bag. I've just sort of used things that I had handy. Most of them are from old scarves. Like this one's an old scarf. I keep a couple oracle decks in here. And I like using scarves because they already have the fringe on it usually, and I love a tarot bag that has fringe at the bottom. So fun, right? So for this one, I literally just sewed it in half. And sewed up folded it in half and sewed up one side, sewed up the bottom. I mean, I didn't even edge the top. It's all frayed and stuff. But I just took a little piece of elastic and tied it together. Boom, tarot bag. It's held up fairly well. Some of the other ones I did, create a little drawstring for it. That's what I did here. Took this old, I don't know what you call that, metallic ribbony kind of stuff. And then laid it out and folded the scarf on top of it and just sewed it around and leaving one end open so it becomes one of those, what do you call that? I have no idea. It just closes like that. Yeah, neat, right? I actually fit 2 oracle decks in there. And then I did something very similar with this one. This is actually made from the sleeve of an old jacket. It's like the perfect shape already. I just snipped off the sleeve, sewed up the bottom, and left the top open. I even put a little button on this guy to keep it shut, so it hooks around. Oh, good. Yeah, so if you unbutton it, it's really the same as the other one. You can open it up that way, and your deck comes out there, ta-da! And then it's messy, can you see that? But it works, and it closes like that, and then I wrap it around, and I just put the button through the ribbon, and it holds it shut really nicely. Yeah, out of a sleeve. Sleeves and scarves, they work amazing for tarot bags. If you've seen, you know, some of my videos, you know, normally I do keep most of my tarot decks in these little bags like that. This one is getting ready for my Papist tarot to come. I already picked out the charm for it. But I do have a good time. I use this box from my Agni Rorik tarot, it comes in this great box, to sort of collect bags and knickknacks and things that I will use to decorate future tarot decks with bags and knickknacks on them when they come. Oh, look at this one. I got a little compass one ready for something that feels called to put that on them. So that's sort of a fun, like, running craft project that I have. Okay, since we just did like the Pagan altar video too, I wanted to share this stuff with you guys. These are, well, I only have one left. I had a bunch of them. They've broken over the years. But I originally made statues for my altar myself, like, you know, sculpted them, which is not easy to do, and I am by no means very artistic, but if you take your time, it can be a really fun project. And you can get this stuff called Sculpey, I believe it's called, at your local craft store. And what it is clay, basically clay that doesn't need to be put into a kiln to harden, doesn't need those really, really high heats. You can just put it in your oven, in your kitchen, at home to harden. So it's really cool. You can even get, I have a whole little kit somewhere, little tools to help you sculpt with for really, really cheap. I think I got like a whole, you know, set of kind of crappy ones, but it was only like 10 bucks maybe. And I set about sculpting. I had previously made, like I said, they're broken now, but a goddess statue for my altar, Freya. And I also made this really cool plaque. It was a green man, like the face of the green man with leaves all around him. And the whole face coming through. Faces are really hard to sculpt, by the way. But I just bought, you know, the Sculpey, the tools, and actually the paint to paint them, to give them a nice patina finish or whatever you wanted. So this is the only one I have left. Let me give you a little close-up of her. And she's sort of, can you see that? She's a little naked, don't mind her. She's sort of being groped by this kind of alien-like being. I think I may have talked about him a little bit actually in one of my astral projection videos. This is, to me, a depiction of like the spirit that sort of hangs out at the foot of my bed. It's a very healing, positive energy entity. But this is kind of a depiction of him. He's sort of hanging on to her back, and she's got this ecstatic almost look on her face, very, very peaceful. It's not supposed to be a spooky sort of thing. I could see how some people might feel like it is, but for me it's a powerful, peaceful sort of an image. And that was a fun project. Really fun. So something else you guys can get at your local craft store if you're feeling the urge to get creative are these little medicine bag kits that they sell there. It's usually over in like the leather section. And it comes with the whole kit, and you just kind of sew it together. It gives you every single thing you need usually in those kits for really, really cheap, like a needle and thread that you can actually get through the leather and stuff like that. This is one I keep my runes in, and I like it because shit, I made it myself. And this one's a little medicine pouch. I actually really enjoy creating like little mojo bags or little medicine bags. You know, you put crystals that are infused with your intentions, your oils, or, you know, little found objects, and putting them all together and then putting it on your pillow or wearing it for a few days or longer. You know, a little magic. I'm gonna put him on now. I have some stones in there for making contact with the spirit world. Okay, another fun project that you can sort of get pretty cheap at your local craft store is, I don't have the pen out right now, but a wood burning kit. It's actually really cheap to get a little wood burning tool. And it usually comes with different tips so you can create different looks when you burn the wood. I mean, it certainly is a skill that takes a long time to master, and I never played around too much with it, but I was able to create some cool stuff for myself. I created some rune sets, and I showed you guys this one on my altar. I used some tracing paper. I traced it out first and then went back over it with the wood burning tool. You ready for this? This is actually, you know, some practice stuff that I did on the other side. It did not come out perfectly the first time. But yeah, that's where I practiced, and I just used this side to look all pretty on my altar. And then you can see here, this is kind of what the runes that I made look like too. This is the little bead that I showed before, and I have, you know, runes carved all around it. That's Alu. But it's a runic charm. It's Alu. It's for protection. Also, sort of in the Norse mindset, Alu actually, it means like ale. When you drink ale or your mead, right? You're drinking in, you're taking in, you know, the experience of life, of living. It's a magic act. It's a sacred kind of an act. Anyway, it's not hard and it's not expensive, so it's a fun project. Here's another project that I was inspired to do by you guys online, and it goes with smudging, right? You have your smudge stick, and in the past I always just used like a single feather. I would actually order them online. I couldn't find any cool feathers. Ordered some like turkey feathers that were really pretty, but I realized that I have a bird here, a lovely beautiful red bird, so I started collecting her feathers. And I mixed it in with some sort of seagull feathers and whatever feathers I kind of found outside. But I made my own smudge fan, and this was really not that hard, very cheap and very fun. Let's see, what did I actually use here? There's some Scotch tape in there. There's a stick, like a regular wood stick from a tree. And then to sort of reinforce it, can you see that little white thing sticking out? That is a plastic knife. I know, maybe not ideal, but I needed something a little bit sturdier. So I taped everything together, I glued everything together, I even wrapped the bottom in a little bit of leather cord, sort of, and then glued that down. And it was really fun, and I use this all the time. I'm not sure if it's gonna hold up forever, but another pagan craft project. Next up, I have a drum that I made, and I actually I didn't make the drum. I bought the drum for a few bucks. I put the artwork on the drum, and I showed it a little bit. This lighting makes it kind of so you can see through the skin here. Sorry, it's not very clear. Sort of. Anyway, I did this the same way, basically, that I did the wood burning. I traced images onto it that I wanted to have on there, and then went over with a pen. Most of the artwork in here I did with a regular pen, a red pen too, and then the darker stuff is just done with a Sharpie, a red Sharpie and a black Sharpie. So what's up there really is a big raven overlaid over a tree, and then that Sleipnir down there, and I have some of my favorite symbols sort of strewn about. I got a labrys, I got an Aegishjalmur, or an Aegishjalmur, there you go, say it right. You know, the helm of awe on top of the raven's face. I have a spiral on the cross. What else? A Volknot, a Triskel, you know, all sorts of fun stuff like that. And then I put the runes all around, and it was just such a fun project. You could even make yourself a drum stick, a drum beater, whatever you want to call it. I did not make this one. This one came with my Can you hear that? It's got the most amazing sound to it. Oh. But this one came with that drum, but really all it is, it's like a natural stick, leather, just sort of bound together, and it's filled with just some padding up here. So this would, I'm sure, be a fairly easy project too. The little drum did come with a little beater that you could just probably wrap in leather to give it a much better sound. When I beat the cheaper drum with something wrapped in leather, it does give it a better sound as opposed to just, it has a ting to it if it's not sort of dulled at the end like that. I wish I could remember where I got this drum from. Maybe a local music store or something. It's really kind of for kids, I think, or just, you know, a cheapy kind of thing. But it served its purpose, and now it's become art. Let's see here. This one I showed in my altar video too. It is a little medicine wheel that I made a while back. What I did, if I remember correctly, feels like wire. No, it definitely is. I remember taking some thick wire that I actually think I just found it laying around the house, but it's probably what is used for flowers, you know, that kind of wire that they put fake flowers on to make arrangements. Wrapped all that up together to make it stiff enough to be the outside here. And then I just wrapped it into itself. It was very, very messy before I wrapped it in leather. But I took different colored leather cord and just wrapped it around. I don't even think I glued anything here, honestly. Yeah, everything's just tied. If you can even see there, like I just tied it in a knot. And then left or tied on some extra cord and just color coordinated things. I put some beads that all have a rune on it, and I did it, what, 3 or 4 times around it, so wherever way it turned you could see the rune. Tied some feathers onto the bottom that matched. On the black and white ones, I found these 2 black and white stones that I put on there, these circular stones, and they're just tied on there with some like leather coated cord, it looks like. Sorry, I made this one so long ago, I don't really remember all the details. I did lose the white flower though. We got the white feather. Gotta find a new feather for him. But yeah, I mean, I feel like this, you could do this in so many different ways, you know, whatever tradition you follow. There's some sort of circular symbol like this that you could actually create out of wire, and then color with cord, or, you know, you could even make yourself a dream catcher, I'm sure. But yeah, it's a fun project, and it looks really cool up on my wall by my altar. And then this is just more stuff that I sort of found at Michael's or your local craft store or whatever. They'll sell all these little like wooden blank stuff that this is just wooden colored when I found it, and I just painted it myself. I put it's like a little beach scene. And then it's great for storing, you know, tarot cards or what do I have in there, playing cards and stuff. I like this one because it looked like a book. Like you can put it right on your bookshelf and have it look like a regular book. It's like your secret stash. But yeah, fun and cheap, and the silly acrylic paints that you buy to do this sort of stuff is really cheap. They're like $1 for a little thing of color. Yeah, fun to have. Yeah, so please, actually guys, if you've done any pagan crafting or spiritually themed or tarot themed arts and crafts projects, I'd love to see them. You know, post them online or on Instagram, or, you know, even make a video response if you want. Make a video about it, whatever. I'm still hunting for inspiration. I want more. Yeah, let me see your stuff. I love it. So I'm going to stop there for today. That should be enough to keep you guys busy for a while. I will let you know how my Altoid-Altars turn out when I'm finished with them. Thanks for watching, guys. Mwah. Bye.